Denny's.
Welcome into Hand Raised Guys, presented by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating. Bear with me here. We were talking about something else, and time got away from us. Let me hit the record button. So this won't be the second time today that I forget to record something on audition.
Could be worse.
Welcome into Hand Raised Guys, presented by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating. I'm Neal McCready. That's Chase Parham here on this Thursday evening. Hope everyone is well. If you are driving around in Oxford, according to Mr. Parham here, you need to build yourself some extra time.
Oh, my.
Your boy has not left the house in a couple of days, and after hearing some of the horror stories from him and others, I'm not sure that I don't have it figured out. But others have to get out of the house, and I've heard traffic.
I don't think you could wild horse me to the square at lunch tomorrow or anytime tomorrow afternoon. I'm good. I'm sheltering in place tomorrow.
Yeah, it's the town is yours.
Yes. I'll see you maybe Sunday evening. Maybe like it's not where we are right now.
Wow. We can't say we weren't warned because we were definitely warned.
Oh,
we were warned.
Everybody has said, "Hey, look."
We were warned for weeks now, months now, that this was going to be crazy. And I think you and I were both stupid enough to think, well, since the football team at Oklahoma didn't have the start that they had, that just turned out to have absolutely no bearing whatsoever on this.
Somebody that works at one of the restaurants in town told me that like you can go, request a wait list thing, and they had almost 2,000 people on the wait list as of 3 or 4 days ago. Almost 2,000 on the wait list. So that tells you anything. I mean,
I don't even know where to start with that. 2,000 people. They won't even get close to 2,000. I mean,
but nobody knows how many else is on it. You know what I mean?
It's so they just keep getting on.
It's just the app, and you say, "Oh, there's nothing available." So, notify me if something becomes available. And the person I was talking to was like, I guess in case someone just falls over. But otherwise.
Yeah, sometime in February.
Yeah. That's it. But the point being, that many people are searching for a dinner option week of, and that's parties, not people. Think about that. That's 1,900, 2,000 groups.
So at least probably 3,800 people.
It'll bare minimum.
Right. I mean,
probably more like 7,000, 8,000.
Yeah. If you're looking for a solution, and I'm talking about my friends at Comer and Southern in a second, but I don't think Eric would mind if I do this. LB's Meat Market. They're fully stocked. If you have an Airbnb, got a staying with friends, if you're like us and you're like, nah, I'm good. LB's, you can text in your order 662-259-2999. You get 10% off with your text. Tell them what you want, when you want it. And they'll have it ready. Greg sponsors one of our many programs that's been out today on MPW Digital, The Butcher versus the Dance Instructor. So LB's Meat Market, 2008 University Avenue. Great place if you're looking for a great meal Friday night or even Saturday night after the game. You want to turn on LSU, Texas A&M. You got Auburn, Kentucky. You got the World Series. I'm sure that many of you, like me, will be watching Bulls Thunder. So there's a lot to keep an eye on. So you can light up your grill. That's what we're doing Saturday night. We're going to light up the grill and enjoy some LBs. So 2008 University Avenue, again, 662-259-2999. This show brought to you each and every Thursday by our great friends at Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating. Listen, getting to that time of the year, it's been hot as hell for months. But you can kind of tell that the cool weather's around the corner, and you can also look at the calendar. Halloween is 1 week from tonight, which will have some impact on what we do with this show next week, by the way, because people trick-or-treat.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Yeah.
So we'll figure something out. But Halloween's week from tonight, which means the next day is November, and the cooler weather starts to roll in. If you have not had your heating unit checked, and you probably haven't in the last several months, now would be a really good time to call and make an appointment, because you don't want to crank that thing up and there's a problem and your whole house smells like smoke and such and you have an issue. So give them a call at Comer. That's in the Oxford, Batesville, Tupelo area, 662-801-1777. If you live in Hernando, Memphis, South Haven, those areas, call our friends at Southern, 662-429-4429. I'm coming to you. We're both coming to you from the Clark Ford Studios. Clark Ford's in Amory, Mississippi, 662-257-1900. Call that number. Ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours. Right to the bottom line. No hassle, no haggle. You get your quote, and the rest is up to you. You can shop that quote around. You can do what I've done, what I recommend that you do, and let's hop into a Clark Ford today. 662-257-1900. Guest joined us all day. You guys can call in on the Campbell Clinic Hotline from fractures and sports injuries to complex spine and limb conditions. The pediatric orthopedic physicians at Campbell Clinic in Oxford are the only specialized orthopedic team in North Mississippi providing expert care for growing bodies. So visit campbellclinicoxford.com to schedule an appointment or call 901-759-3111. This will be a Friday Blue Sky Live. Chase, what's going on at Blue Sky?
They're all over the state of Mississippi. Sweet Daddy's locations all over the state. And look, maybe you didn't get enough for your tailgate. Maybe you need a little extra. You need an easy way to pick up a little extra food for this thing on Saturday, this Oklahoma Ole Miss game. Plenty of tailgating, plenty of grove time afterward. They can hook you up. You got ribs, got pulled pork, got side items, desserts, rolls, and plenty more there at, again, all Blue Sky locations throughout Mississippi, including here locally in Oxford with the Oxford Exxon. I'm getting very distracted by our stream and one of the topics that's going on there right now. I'll be honest. I was reading that instead of listening to you partly. So do you have your LBs yet?
No.
So you have to go.
Got to go make my order.
You got to go get it.
Yeah. I'll go early.
Yeah.
Like,
because University Avenue is kind of a thing.
Yeah. And I just
get out on sick, come around.
Like, I'm literally thinking about changing gyms because of it.
Are you really?
Mm-hmm.
Might be necessary.
I mean, I think
I've started avoiding it.
I think I'm
not.
And I hate it because there's a couple of establishments that I frequent that I really like, but it's hard.
What do you do?
I mean, it's hard to get there and get out of there.
Yeah, I was trying to think who's most affected, and I know that would be one of them.
Yeah. I mean, there's a way I can do it, and I probably will do it because I like them and I don't want them to hurt.
Yeah, sure. It's going to affect everybody through there for a while. But it's almost a year and a half.
But like, if I don't have like a great feeling about a place,
it's much easier just to go do something else.
Yeah.
I mean, I might have to actually start using Jackson Avenue, which is not a thing. I don't. That might as well be Cambodia for me.
Well,
like,
see, when you live on this side of town,
yeah.
Jackson Avenue might as well be Minneapolis.
Yeah.
I mean, we just don't go there. I mean, it's like, you're.
And
like,
if I do, it's this very round, circuitous way, and I'm only going to whatever the established bar on the very end of it. Like
Yeah.
Like, we will very rarely maybe like grab Rice and Spice or something in the middle, but otherwise I'm very out there on the edges. I need to go to Dick's or something or whatever, and that's where we're. And
then you're timing it.
Oh, it's been a little bit of a mess even just getting to M-Trade for the softball games here this fall, because she'll have some games at 5:45, which means I got to get over there.
Been there.
Now, when this loop finishes right here for you, you're like 2 minutes away and golden on that backside.
How old's Carson? Didn't quite work.
We
didn't time that one out just right.
You just missed that one. No, seriously though, I mean, you're going to wrap around right there at it in nothing.
I went to Oxford Middle the other day to pick up something, and the new soccer field is there, and it's spectacular. And I kind of walked out on it for a minute and looked around, and I was like, how typical. After all of the years, at least we get one season on it. I mean, there were some parents that were like, yeah, our kids just graduated.
That sucks.
That sucks, yeah.
So you're debuting it next week? Like whenever?
Monday.
Yeah. Okay.
Monday.
Who do they play?
Olive Branch. So if you're looking for something to do and you want to check out some high school soccer,
they play Olive Branch
Oxford
on Monday.
And Olive Branch. I would think the girls start at 5. The boys probably start around 7-ish.
Yeah.
Beautiful facility. I mean, it's really, really cool. And the seats are right on top of the field. It's going to be a lot more intimate, which is
good.
Good and bad.
Good and bad?
Well, it's good and bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be easier for referees to hear things.
Oh, they can't penalize you.
That's true.
I don't think.
No. But sometimes parents get scolded.
Oh, really?
by administrators.
Oh, really?
That's happened.
Really?
Not just to me.
Okay.
In fact, I'm
You're calm comparatively.
I'm one of the lesser offenders.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Okay. But you are an offender.
I have been.
You didn't say a lack of an offender.
No, I have committed the offense once and been scolded.
Okay.
I asked a question in retaliation to the scolding
And did not get a response.
Well, that was the end of it.
Oh, okay.
I think the question hit home. I asked if that would happen to other sports.
I was gathering.
And the answer was a no answer, which I've learned in my business is typically yes.
Yeah. But I don't have to deal with them trade for a while. We wrapped up the softball season last night, so we're good through the fall. We'll see if she wants to play again in the spring. I don't know. It is what it is.
She have a good year?
She enjoyed it more than I thought.
Yeah.
I had a good time. I like the kids. If she does play, I'm going to kind of miss some of them because you don't take the same team from one year to the next. But yeah, she had. I mean, a lot of people know she plays tennis a lot, but it's first ever team sport, so I wasn't 100% sure how it would go, and it went well. She had a good time. She did ask me one day if she could swing one-handed because that's what she would do with a tennis racket. And I went, no, I'd rather you not do that. That wouldn't be ideal.
You don't want to lose control of that bat right there.
Yeah. But not so much. Reading from the stream, no, I cannot name the SEC states in order of electoral votes from least to most.
Okay, so let's think about it.
Well, Texas.
Would Texas have more than Florida?
I think Texas has more than Florida. Well, hold on. I'll pull it up, but try to.
Okay, so I'll go. I think you're right. I think it's Texas, then Florida, then Georgia.
I would assume.
Okay. Texas, Florida, Georgia. Tennessee. South Carolina.
You think Tennessee's next?
I think. Just first thought.
I would go Missouri next. We got KC and St. Louis.
Oh, okay. Do you have it up?
No, I have it up, but I have not looked.
Okay.
I've opened it, and it's there on my screen.
Okay, so Missouri, then Tennessee, then South Carolina.
Okay. Then Kentucky.
So what's left? We have Kentucky.
We have Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana.
And Arkansas.
And
Oklahoma.
Oh, I don't know where to put
But
them.
not many. That is not a big state.
So South Carolina, Kentucky, and then I would probably go Oklahoma next.
I would go Oklahoma, Alabama,
Louisiana,
Mississippi, Arkansas.
Okay. You think Mississippi's got more than Arkansas? They have Little Rock.
So maybe it's Arkansas, Mississippi.
I do Arkansas, Mississippi. It's a guess.
It's both really close.
Okay.
Single-digit electoral college votes.
All right, let's see.
All right.
See how we do.
Yes, we'll see how we do.
All right, California leads the country with 54.
Yeah.
Texas has 40. They're second.
That's what Avery said that in the stream.
Florida has 30.
Okay.
So we got that. New York 28, Illinois 19, Pennsylvania 19, Ohio 17, Georgia 16.
Okay.
Got that one.
Mm-hmm.
North Carolina has 16, if you're just curious.
Okay.
Michigan has 15, Virginia 13, Washington, Arizona, Tennessee 11. They're next.
Okay.
So Tennessee has more than South Carolina.
So I had it right originally.
Yes, that is correct. Missouri has 10.
Okay.
So we knew they were high.
We were
got
close.
that one close enough.
We were close.
Missed this one. Alabama next.
Well,
9 electoral votes.
Massive growth in Alabama.
Huntsville, that area.
Mm-hmm.
Mobile's not small. Birmingham in the middle. Montgomery. I mean, didn't mention the capital. Yeah, that makes sense. South Carolina and Alabama have 9 each.
Okay.
They're tied. Kentucky has 8.
Okay.
They are next. They are tied to Louisiana.
Louisiana has 8?
They have 8.
How about that?
Yep. Oklahoma has 7.
Okay.
Arkansas has 6.
Okay.
Mississippi has 6 as well. So Arkansas and Ole Miss tied. They're one behind Oklahoma.
So they'll go to overtime.
Yes, and that's it. The smallest in the country is Wyoming with 3.
Okay.
Actually, 4, 5 have 3. 6 have 3.
Who are the 6?
Alaska has 3. Delaware has 3. North Dakota has 3. South Dakota has 3. Vermont has 3. And Wyoming has 3.
Oh, okay.
And the District of Columbia has 3.
I think the Electoral College is a beautiful thing.
You like it?
Love it. It forces national candidates to take the whole country seriously and not just go to the elites, not just go to the coasts. Because otherwise, you would just go campaign in California, and you'd go Philadelphia to New York and DC and all
Just
that.
try to kill the metropolitan areas.
And so all your policies would completely ignore flyover country, which is the overwhelming majority of the actual country. I think it's genius. I actually think the whole Senate, House of Representatives things is absolutely genius.
Well, that's where they really, really got stuff right, was the formation of that type of policy.
And that's what the Electoral College is based on. It's genius. It was brilliant. The whole checks and balances, you can tell I love history. You can tell I'm like an American history nerd. Our founding fathers were geniuses.
And
courageous sons of bitches too, because
officially selected as the means at the end of the Constitutional Convention. 1787.
Yeah. Country was, 8 years old?
Yeah, give or take. Yeah. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody asked, what are the top 10 uniforms in sports, counting everything together? I did find a list here a second ago while we were talking. This is from Men's Journal.
Criteria is
any sports team jersey.
Just whatever you like.
Yes.
Yankees.
They're probably on here. I'll go down the list in a second. Is the Yankees really your number one uniform in sports?
I'm guessing
anything.
I'm guessing what would be
pro
one.
And college.
My favorite's the Thunder white with the Thunder across. I love that. And then the Cubs, the pinstripe. And Cubs might actually be on the list. I feel safe. Thunder won't be. Top 10 uniforms in all of sports. I don't know. Humor me. I'm
all right, best ones. Again, Men's Journal. Take it up with them when you get pissed off. Not my list. Number 1, University of North Carolina basketball.
Huh. If you'd given me 100 guesses, I don't know that I would have gotten there.
But it's good.
But yeah, now that I think about it, I'm like, oh, okay.
Number 2, New York Yankees.
Yeah.
Home pinstripes.
Right.
Yes. Number 3, Argentina national soccer team.
Yeah.
It's fine. Yeah, I got no problems there.
Yep.
I have a hard time knowing where to put those, but sure. Yeah, I'm
well,
okay.
I think it's easy in America to completely lose track of just how popular soccer is in other continents.
Number 4, the yellow Los Angeles Lakers uniform.
Yeah. Sure.
Very synonymous. I get it.
You see it, you know what it is.
Here's an upset for you.
Okay.
Number 5, Tulane football. Number 5, Roll Wave at number 5.
They do have great unis, man.
A couple of those uniforms.
A couple of times they've rolled out in uniforms and you feel like going, just give them the W. You deserve to win with that.
So I like it. We're going a little equal opportunity there. Number 6, the Anaheim Mighty Ducks, the skull logo duck thing.
Oh, yeah.
With the cross thing.
Sure.
You're out on that.
It's kind of pop culture and stuff, but sure. I'm fine with it. Whatever. It's Men's Journal. I'm cool.
They got me to click the damn thing.
I'm not fighting. Yeah.
The Notre Dame green uniform.
Oh.
I'm in there. I'm in there.
Yep.
I'm okay. Number 8, the Green Bay Packers.
Home. Yeah.
Green on yellow helmet.
Yeah.
Hat.
Historic and all that.
It's fine.
Sure.
This is the worst of the 10. I hate these uniforms. The late 90s, early 2000s Utah Jazz with the mountain range over the Jazz.
Really?
Number 9 in all sports.
Wow.
Because that's the dumbest logo. Give me all the Jazz that's in Utah. Like, I know how it happened. I get thinking from New Orleans. Like, New Orleans should be the Jazz. They should give them the freaking
Well, if you're
going to
do a throwback NBA one, it would be the old Denver Nuggets uniform.
Yeah, this sucks.
What in the world?
They had done so well, too,
Yeah.
until here.
Yeah. Did they redeem themselves at 10?
No, even worse.
It's not possible.
Oh, Neal. I could give you 1,000 guesses.
I'm not.
The 2022 Washington Nationals City Connect uniform. Gray with the WSH across the front with like the blossoms.
No.
10 all time.
If I had a Men's Journal subscription, I would cancel it right now.
I mean, through 8, they were just cooking too.
They were doing
just cooking.
great.
We were fine.
Mixing things up, a little unpredictable.
I mean, you could have melded in. At 9, you could have gone Los Angeles Dodgers home uniform. And I went,
yeah, like Grind says,
okay.
USC's home uniform.
Sure. Good.
Boston Celtics, the Celtic green.
Fine.
The Raiders. The Raiders have an iconic uniform.
I do really like their uniform.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like sometimes I feel like I'm just going to become a Raiders fan just because of the unis.
The 10 worst sports jerseys of all time in the same article.
Okay.
Which they've already named 2.
I mean, you've already just butchered this.
Number 10, UConn football Aeropostale jerseys. Okay,
sure.
Number 9, the current Anaheim Ducks jerseys, which is the black with the weird D thing on it. That actually, I'm good there. Okay. That thing sucks. The 1999 Pittsburgh Pirates red vest jerseys that had like the big ass Jolly Roger on the front. Those suck.
Terrible.
Yeah. Some really ugly black and silver New York Islanders jerseys. They're terrible.
Yeah.
You haven't seen them.
I haven't seen them, but I don't need to.
The 1997 to 2001 Golden State Warriors jersey that had like a thunderbolt across the top of the Warriors. It's bad. Okay. It's really bad.
You know, speaking of hockey jerseys, the hockey jersey that sometimes if I have a couple, I always think about ordering it. I love the Edmonton Oilers uniforms. Oh. I have no idea why. Loved them.
I think my favorite hockey uniforms are I love the Blackhawks logo. So the Blackhawks uniforms are really good, and the Red Wings. The tire with the wing is really good.
Yeah, the Red Wing's good too.
Yeah. I think that would be my ones for that. The San Diego Padres camo uniforms.
Yeah. As a rule, I don't mean this about Realtree and the helmet, but as a rule, I'm not a big camo person.
And when it's straight camo, like the green, like the not even tied into your colors, just camo.
When does the camo thing come out? When do we release this tonight?
It's already out.
Is it out?
You hadn't seen this?
No, I've been working all day.
It came out 2 days ago.
I thought Ole Miss does a release on.
They gave a picture of the uniform yesterday.
Okay.
I mean, don't yell at me. I don't know.
Well, I'm not yelling.
They are wearing the Realtree Navy helmet.
Okay.
You're going to be floored. Navy jerseys and gray pants. See, you're looking at me like I got 9 heads right now. You're so confused.
Yeah, is it? I don't want to get you in trouble. It's a sponsor. If I ask why?
I would have worn red jerseys.
And white pants.
Or whatever. Either way, yeah. I thought the contrast would have been with the red jerseys. Yeah, I knew this. Keith told me on Tuesday, and then it came out like yesterday. It's navy on navy with gray pants.
Ginger says it seems a little extreme. Neal, what's extreme?
I don't know.
The Oilers jersey?
I don't know.
It's probably extreme. I haven't done it.
Ooh, Houston Oilers.
Oh, I do like the Houston Oilers.
I'm in on that. Like, really in on that. The Steelers Bumblebee uniforms made this list.
Oh, yeah. I don't like those. Because here's the thing. When you have a classically good uniform and you screw with it, it's not – you lose more points.
And then number 1, worst uniform ever, they might have gotten this one right. The University of Florida football alligator alternate jerseys they wore that time.
Is that the black ones?
Here, hold on. I'll get it to you.
Because last year when I was doing Princely Umanmielen content and I would go to Imagine, the USA Today thing, and they would have those black jerseys, and I would never use them because the uniform
No,
was
this
so
is way
bad.
worse than that.
Oh, dear God.
See?
No. Why?
Because Florida has good uniforms.
Well, yeah, they have lots of combinations, and they have that.
This thing.
Wow.
You don't remember this?
No.
Yeah.
I block stuff like this out, I think. Tell me they lost in that uniform, please.
Know. I don't know.
We never really talked about it. It got mentioned in the stream a couple of times, but we were always on different topics. Illinois' uniforms last week.
I loved the helmet.
Yeah.
The helmet was great.
Everything else was fine for me. The helmet was so good. That
the helmet was so good.
Care.
I put on the message board. I gave it an 8.8 out of 10.
Oh.
Because the helmet was great. There was a lot of flack given to the helmet. No, helmet was good.
Oh, the helmet was amazing.
Yeah. You're getting no qualms on the helmet.
And they won. I mean, when you wear something like that, you win.
You just win automatically.
You just feel good.
Sure.
I pray Florida lost in that uniform. It was like the day Ole Miss wore the all grays. I'm like, oh, you're losing.
Did you get LSU in the white last week?
Yo, yeah, it was great.
You did, didn't you?
Oh. And then Arkansas screwed it up by going with the red pant. Now, the red pant has the white stripes on the side, and that does take a little of the sting off of it, but I'm not a big red on red person.
Red on? Yeah, no. Yeah. I was trying to think about it. Yeah.
When we first walked into the stadium, the first thing I saw was LSU, and I was like, oh, look at that.
They did that.
And then I saw Arkansas from a distance, and I saw red on red, and I was like, oh, we're going to get an elite uniform game. And then I saw the red pant, and I was like, oh, man, come on. What are we doing?
I'm sorry. But you got LSU.
I did. No, I mean.
They're white on white on white.
It does it for me.
It's really good.
You. Between that and like Trump said, hey, I'm going to throw away income tax. I'm like, this is my week. Because I love some white on white, man, on the LSU unis. Say what you want. It's gorgeous. Oh, it is. How they ever lose in that combination is beyond me. I've seen them lose in it.
Ole Miss beat the hell out of them in it one time.
Yeah. I told Caroline, I said, y'all are
15? Yeah, it was 15.
Yeah, I said, y'all are in trouble.
When you look at uniform plus player in uniform, how it's supposed to look. Now, again, that 15 LSU team got the hell beat out of them in Oxford. But Leonard Fournette walking off the bus in that white on white on white.
Oh, yeah.
That is what football player is there.
Right there.
Like that is football player.
Yeah. Like a damn fashion show. Like a supermodel. Yeah. Just unbelievable. As I told some Ole Miss people after, I went, well, y'all won the game, but you lost the pregame.
Oh, God. Well, it's funny, and I wonder why, and I know it's because I've always recruited well, but I feel like not just Ole Miss coaches, and multiple Ole Miss coaches have done this, but for some reason, LSU is the team that most gets mentioned by college football coaches if, God, they look good off the bus. Mm-hmm. Like, for some reason, LSU is the one that just SEC coaches in general mention when they use that cliche.
It's just because they always have athletes at key spots. They always have big offensive linemen and big, long-limbed defensive linemen. And I mean, they do win a lot. Look, if they win Saturday night against Texas A&M, they're probably making the playoff.
Yeah. They'd have Bama.
Which is just going to make Ole Miss people more pissed off. But
they have Bama left.
That's it, really. Is
that really it?
I'll miss football season just because of this O'Neal Steele thing. I love you people.
You do really like that schedule.
Yes, they just beat Ole Miss. They beat Arkansas. If they beat A&M, they get a weekend off. They get Alabama at home, at Florida, Vanderbilt, and Oklahoma at home to finish.
Oh, cooking.
I mean, they could go to Atlanta.
Yeah.
So if Georgia, Texas, and Alabama, Georgia, Texas, and LSU all went 11-1, who gets lucky and gets to go, we don't.
SEC announces tiebreaker.
Hang on, caller. We'll be right with you 1 second. You're on, but hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Head-to-head competition among the tied teams. Record versus all common conference opponents among the tied teams. Record against highest place common conference opponent in the conference standings and proceeding through the conference standings among the tied teams.
Okay.
And once you get down to two, it either doesn't matter.
Well, so in that scenario, Georgia would have beaten Texas, but LSU wouldn't have played Texas, so that wouldn't have mattered.
So you got a record among the best team that they all played, and then down the list.
Oh, good grief.
Yeah, we don't have enough information to answer your
whoever
question.
It is, I'd be like, hey, can we just volunteer to be number 3? We'll take the number 5 spot, and we'll host a game.
Yeah, we're in.
Y'all go beat each other up.
We'll go play Boise State, try to stop Jonty or whatever his name is, and we'll go from there.
Hey, caller, what's up, man?
Hey, guys. David from Madison. How are you?
Hey, David. How are you?
I'm good. Listen, Neal, I got a story for you, but first, I just want to compliment you guys on what you've built with this network. From time to time, I go and listen to other schools, podcasts that cover other schools. And first of all, your audio is the best. The content's the best. And I love that it's more than just about sports, and it's about your lives and what's going on in the world. So I'm really thankful that you guys do this. It's kind of part of my day between like 10 o'clock and noon every day. So appreciate it.
Well, it's very kind of you. Thanks. Appreciate that a lot.
All right, Neal. So I hate snakes as much as you do. And
Case hates every bit as much as I do. He just has snakes.
Oh, maybe worse. I mean, Jeffrey was right that day. And David, I'm still a little traumatized. I mean, I found one in my bed this year.
Yeah, that's worst case scenario.
It's up there.
It's up there with the scenarios, but yeah.
All right. So about 3 weeks ago, ironically, I was actually listening to y'all's podcast when this happened. I'm a mountain biker, and I'm riding a trail I'm not familiar with, and I'm on a ridge, and I got about a 10-foot drop on both sides of me, and the trail's maybe 3 foot wide. So there's no margin for error, right?
What are you doing?
Why?
I feel something fall and wrap around my neck.
Oh, my God.
And I'm
you're on
struck
this
with,
small plank of a rope?
Yes. There's no, I can't even, I would have a hard time stopping the bike and putting my foot down.
All right, real quick, David. When
yes.
was your funeral? Because are you talking to us from the afterlife? Because if so, this is a first.
So anyway, I'm in like sheer panic. I don't know what to do. And I've probably got about 20 feet before I can stop my bike. And so I'm like, there's no good choice. So I finished, I stopped my bike, and it was a big vine that had fallen and wrapped around my shoulder and my neck perfectly. Oh, and I'm telling you, my heart's in good shape. My heart's in real, real good shape. But it was so funny because I was listening to you guys when it happened, and I'm like, this would be a great story for Neal.
Oh.
But, I mean, you definitely had a few seconds where you went, that is it. It is over. That was a snake wrapped around my head.
I was like, that's a cottonmouth. It's over. You know, the thing's going to bite me on my neck, and I'm going to have a reaction, and my throat's going to close, you know? Yeah. Oh, Neal, I was going to tell you, I messaged you last night on Twitter. I decided to give the NBA a try because of you, and I bought the league pass, and I'm like, the Thunder's going to be my team.
There you go.
Front runner.
No, he's not. It's
front
okay.
runner.
Don't listen to him. Don't listen to him.
Runner.
Oh, it's okay. I highly suggest that if you're on Twitter, follow Royce Young. Royce used to cover the NBA for ESPN. He now works for the Thunder, and he put out a 3-minute video, kind of like a season prep thing about the kind of the history of the Thunder a little bit. It was really well done. I mean, I was ready to run through a wall and dunk a 6-foot goal when he got finished.
Well, I'm excited about it, and gonna go. I go all in when I do these kind of things. So I may be direct messaging you a few questions every now and then.
Okay. Just remember tonight that Hartenstein's not playing, and so if the Nugget thing goes bad because we don't have a traditional big, he's on the bench. He'll be back in 4 or 5 weeks. We're good.
Okay. Well, a friend of mine actually covers the Nuggets, and so maybe I can give him a hard time if the Thunder win. Anyway, I was going to tell you I was fraternity brothers with Ryan and Tim.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And Ryan's one of the funniest people I've ever met when he's not trying to be funny.
Yeah, and sometimes he tries to be funny, and at that point, he's just brutally obnoxious.
Well, anyway, guys, I really enjoy everything you do, and I've done a little podcasting myself, so I know the work that goes into it. And people don't understand if you record for an hour and a half, how physically tired you can be when it's over with. And so the fact that you guys do as much as you do just blows my mind. But anyway, nice talking to y'all, and let's go Thunder.
Thunder up.
Thanks for the call.
Okay.
It was going an hour and a half, like half hours, depending on the day. But
yeah, today was 5.5.
Before we got more aggressive with it, it's one of the things I used to take from the Corolla show all the time was he would talk about doing the 3 or 4 Corolla shows on the same day, which is 8, 9, 10 hours, where he's mostly just there by himself. And
the only part of that I wonder how you do it is your voice. Like
keeping
late in the day on a day like today, my voice is tired. Like literally, I can tell I've been talking a lot. This is a question I bet you do not want to answer. I'll answer it. You don't have to.
I was looking at it. I really don't know, but yeah, go ahead. Well, go ahead.
It's Neal. I love the Josh Hendrickson show. Thank you. Josh is great. No matter whether you agree with him or not, the one thing you can take from that is that the man is a incredibly intelligent,
researched and reasoned.
Reasoned, just very calm human being. He's very bright. I love doing the show. I always feel kind of intimidated, but
it doesn't seem like his pulse gets up too much. Very just.
He gets a little fired up here and there,
Okay.
but he's pretty laid back. He says, I heard his prediction. Neal and Chase, would you like to share your opinions?
Don't give his away because people listen.
And mine has been probably impacted by him and a lot of things that I've read in the last couple of days. I'll give you my answer. I don't want to go too terribly political here because I don't think that's what the show's supposed to be. I do think Trump is going to win. I think he's going to get 312 electoral college votes. And
many.
And if you told me I was off, I would tell you that I undersold.
Do you really?
I do. And I think one of the really big stories coming out of this election is going to be black men veering towards the Republican Party, not just Trump, but veering towards the Republican Party in numbers that I think are going to really surprise.
You think that's potentially indicative of future and not simply indicative of running opponent?
Yeah, I don't know that it's a trend, but I think it's going to be a whoa. What happened here? And what does this mean? And I am hopeful that it will lead to both parties not treating an entire voting block like they're the exact same person.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's insulting, and I think the Democrats have done it, and the Republicans have done this in the past too. I think it's insulting to basically approach an entire demographic, black men. That's a lot of different people.
Yeah.
I mean, you've met a lot of black men. They're not all the same any more than all white men are the same. It's an idiotic thing to do. Well, let's just say this about marijuana. And then, hey, you owe it to, no, you don't. Are you telling me they don't have their own individual preferences? They don't have their own individual thoughts about their lives, their futures, their families? I thought it was insulting. And I think that in this particular case, they're going to pay for it. And I'll give Trump this, no matter what you think about Trump, I don't think Trump is guilty of that. I think he's very much one of these people who, I think one of the big differences in this campaign is you have a candidate who enjoys campaigning against one who hates it. And you see it.
In some of that comes from, there's a lot of reasons, but one reason is that there is no mandate even inside your party because you didn't win the primary. You know what I mean? So you're scuffling from the very beginning and you're doing all this different stuff and playing out in that way. I mean, I think from a straight just enjoying campaigns, enjoying the fact that these last 11 days, 12 days is whether polling has gotten any better or not. It was so bad in 16.
Yeah.
It wasn't much better in 20. I was
Pretty
watching maybe, I don't know if it was CBS Sunday Morning or somebody, but it was talking with the head of the research or the head of polling for Quinnipiac. And was discussing what they've done to try to improve and not, and whether you know, and you simply do. It's reaching people, asking the question in a way that gives you something. And then 3, it's a lot of still not trusting that somebody will tell you the honest answer versus what they're going to actually do in the booth. And one of the reasons why, there was tons of pub and aggregation taken from the YouGov question here recently, which was, is America ready for a woman president? And I saw a lot of people kind of getting very frustrated about that question. I can't believe this is even a question in 2024, but it's a typecast question. Does that make sense? Like, it is trying to get to an answer on who you're voting for or what you're doing from that more than are you really okay as a human with a woman leading the country? That's not really what the question was trying to decipher. It was another way of figuring out if you're a Trump or a Harris voter or kind of what you're doing there through questions like that, because they simply can't get an answer when they go, who are you voting for?
By the way, here Grind says CNN says Harris will either get 313 or Trump will get 312. I kind of agree with that. I don't think you're going to see this splitting. Like, I think one candidate is very likely to
We're
win.
not looking at a 270 something to whatever.
Well, like, I think one candidate, if you told me that one candidate wins Pennsylvania, I'm going to say that he or she likely also wins Michigan and Wisconsin. I think it's more likely that that voting block basically all goes in the same direction.
And I think that's the only thing that kind of has me questioning and I'm not predicting either way because Josh would know way more than me, and I haven't broke it down like this to any point where I'm educated, so I'm admitting that. But, you know, it would take a huge trending change, which is kind of what you're saying, for Trump to win those 3 states, because then you're talking severe blowout.
He won them in 16.
Yeah.
And 20 was close.
Mm-hmm. I don't know is Lindsey Graham still doing scandal stuff? I don't even know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think one of the things, if he wins, that will be interesting will be to find out whether the Democrats regret taking Biden off the ticket. Do they look back and go, we made a mistake? I mean, hindsight's 20/20 and all.
So.
Or if they were going to do it, should we have done it earlier where they could have had a more open?
I fully believe she has a better chance of winning than Biden would have.
Huh.
And a political researcher would have a hard time convincing me otherwise.
Yeah.
I believe that very strongly.
Yeah. Well, he was in trouble at the time.
I think she has a chance.
Yeah.
Maybe a good chance, and I don't think he would have even had a chance.
Yeah. No, she absolutely has a chance.
Yeah.
Sure. Because, I mean, it's possible the polling is wrong. Possible it changes in the next 11 days, 12 days. I mean,
the election is not today.
I am fascinated to listen to him with Rogan.
When does that come out?
It's doing it tomorrow. I would think you're turning that around fast, right? I mean, if you're Rogan, you're like,
hey, guys, let's.
I mean, I would think.
Get the cameras going.
I mean, no matter what you think of politics, that is going to draw an incredible number.
Okay. Did we get a call or not?
It hung up.
Rogan is interesting. I know what kind of interview I'm typically getting from Rogan by when I pull it up and I see the time length. If I made you go to Vegas, over under 2.5 hours with Trump.
Under.
You think it's under?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he's got campaign stuff. I can't imagine that he's.
But does that mean he's going to stay really on task? Because a lot of times when Rogan just starts talking, we're talking 320, 330, 250. Like, what kind of interview are you expecting? I guess is my question.
I think he's always said that he wanted to ask him about what is it like the day that you walk in and you take the oath, and after the oath you walk into the office and you're the president of the United States. Like, what do you do? What's around you? What are your challenges? Just from a semantics point of view. So I think he'll get into a lot of that, and then he'll probably have some fun with him for a little while and try to make sure that they're loose. And then I think if he's got him, he's got to ask some questions. But he doesn't, and he's always said, I don't know about you, I listen to Rogan a lot.
Yeah.
And he's had people tell him over the last few months, hey, you got to get these people on. You could solve all of our problems by interviewing these people for 3 hours and then just let everybody go vote. And he's like, yeah, but I don't want to grill anybody. Because that's not what I do. I don't do gotcha stuff. Mm-hmm. He goes, I don't judge people. Even people who've done terrible things, I don't bring them in here and grill them on it. We talk.
Yeah, sure.
So I don't know what it'll be like. The one thing, I don't know what the over-under will be on how many downloads it gets or plays it gets, but I'll take the over. It's going to get monumental numbers.
Oh.
And then I'm 1,000,000% fascinated to see how mainstream media, which has lost so much
they aggregate
to the Rogans and the Corollas of the world, like, how do they treat this?
That's a good question. Yeah, what do they do with it? Do you aggregate the hell out of it? Do you not? What do you do? And the answer is apparently is no on Wicked Game, by the way, because I don't see anything that shows there's.
And if you told me mainstream media sort of ignores it and pretends it didn't happen, I'd buy that too. Hey, caller, what's up?
Hey, I have a question. That article y'all referenced a couple weeks ago is Ross Dellinger article about the Super Conference.
Yeah.
Did y'all read the whole article?
I'm pretty sure I did, but that's been a lot of articles ago. So refresh me on what area you're talking about.
Okay. Well, he interviewed the Ohio State AD, the former Ohio State AD. He said that there was 18 schools that produced 60% of the television views in the country. 18 schools produced 60%. And that the SEC and the Big Ten both were looking into doing a revenue sharing system roughly based off what the ACC is doing. And John Kurtz, I guess that's how you say his last name, did a whole show on just that portion of the article. And in it, he said that basically if they did it, Northwestern, Rutgers, Mississippi State, and Vanderbilt would be members of their conference in name only. They'd get about 5% of the revenue each.
Yeah, because the ACC is doing a tiered system trying to keep Clemson and Florida State happy.
Yeah.
Right. And the theory was we're not going to 2 super conferences, we're going to 1 super conference with about 20 schools.
That feels a little too small to me. Or not, at least not in the first or second iteration of what's to come.
And it would be so antithetical to everything that Greg Sankey has said for the better part of the decade.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm just surprised that part hasn't been bigger news around here, especially if you did state 5%. I mean, they'd make more money in the Big 12.
Yeah, probably because it's just not a realistic thing. That's not. I mean, I think if you got to remember with Sankey that when you read his words, he's never going to come out and say, "Oh, that's stupid." He's not going to trash talk. He's not going to talk about. He's not going to do it in a way that maybe the common person would do it. He's going to do it incredibly diplomatically, but you have to sort of read between the lines. And he has said repeatedly that essentially that the SEC is in a position of strength, that they don't need any help, that in a worst case scenario, they could break off by themselves, play their own damn league, and just make all the money. So I don't think he's going to do anything that voluntarily weakens any of the 16 member institutions.
Well, here's the one thing Kurtz pointed out, and I'll run this by you. Said Clemson and South Carolina are worth $70 million each a year, which is about what the SEC gives out, and less than what the Big Ten gives out. So the SEC couldn't take them without alienating Georgia, Florida, probably Alabama and Auburn, South Carolina, and said if the ACC breaks up, North Carolina and Virginia said the money will be too great not to go to the Big Ten, at which point Notre Dame would almost be forced to go. Texas A&M ticked because the SEC lied to them. At least they think we did. And the SEC is forced to take drastic measures.
I mean, I know where all that's coming from. A&M saying that they're kind of pissed off and actually leaving the SEC to go to the Big Ten are two different creatures.
Make more money.
Yeah, I mean, a little, maybe.
Today.
And then, I mean, look, it's been rumored for about a decade now that it's Virginia and North Carolina. Don't count them out to the SEC when that day comes.
All right. Well, I just wanted to get y'all's thoughts on it.
Yeah,
No, it's a great topic. I mean, I don't know where it's all headed. I don't know when it's all headed there, but if I'm an SEC member, if I'm in the SEC, I don't care whether I'm Vanderbilt or I'm Texas. I feel pretty good about my spot in life right now.
Well, Kurt said it would be worth about $15 million more a year to the Big Ten if all four of those schools left and went. So
yeah, if all left and went, but that's my thing is the SEC wouldn't take that one lying down. They wouldn't just say, "Oh well, you guys have at it, take who you want." They'd fight back too. And we talked about this earlier in the week. If you look at the TV ratings here in this first year of the SEC being expanded and the Big Ten being expanded, and what's worth what, ABC's the one laughing. They're the ones that are sitting back, rubbing their hands together, because it kind of doesn't matter who they put on TV. They're getting massive numbers because that's just sort of the way the league's wired. And the Big Ten hasn't enjoyed that, with a couple of exceptions.
Okay. All right. Well, I just been thinking about it for a couple of weeks now, and thought I'd run it by y'all.
Yeah, we appreciate the call very much.
All right, y'all enjoy the show.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Alan says, please take A&M. I just don't think in the end A&M would walk away from like to Saturday night. They've got LSU coming to town. That place is going to be a freaking zoo. Are you going to get that one? Hey, who do we have?
Yo, it's Grind.
What's up, Grind? How are you?
Oh, man. Actually, I guess I'm getting over a little sinus infection that I have. I'm not 100% sure, but I sound worse than what I actually am, though.
Just make sure you're masked up.
Grind, I'll let you get into it in a second, but I was scrolling for content a minute ago. We're the 20th anniversary of the Iowa 6 Penn State 4 game from 2004. Do you remember this?
No.
I'm looking at the box score now. This is amazing. Ferentz was still the coach at Iowa 20 years ago. Number 25 Iowa against Penn State. 6-4. Iowa over Penn State.
Let's go.
Penn State's scored 2 safeties, and that was the only thing for the game. Total yards were 168 and 147.
God, that's great football.
Probably started 11 at young, didn't it?
It probably did.
I bet it did. What's up, Grind?
Man, I'll be kind of happy once this election stuff's over with, to be honest with you.
I think a lot of people
I found out that you kind of got to keep your vote, to yourself. I found that out the hard way because, man, I've been called all types of things, man. All types of things. Sexist.
Okay,
I don't love myself.
I want to ask you because I
don't
love you're voting.
I don't love my mama.
When you vote, you tell people you're voting for Trump. What's the reaction?
Well, basically people have been sending me like Bible verses, saying, I hope God finds it in your heart to do the right thing. It's getting to a point, where people are, trying to give me like, some spiritual, looking for some divine intervention to come between now and November 5th to where I do the right thing and vote for Mrs. Harris.
But I mean, you live in a state like we do. I mean, you could
exactly.
I mean, your vote.
Yeah, Grind. No offense, but you're not swinging it on that week.
Not at all, bro.
I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
I'm willing to bet anything you'd like that Trump will win Alabama. Yeah, I don't. It's fascinating to me that I don't know. I don't.
You know what I find very offensive, man. I'm glad you pointed it out, Neal. I found this whole thing very offensive, bro. And I'm pretty sure you guys don't know it, but when she decided that she said she's gonna go and get the black male vote, the first place she goes is the freaking Shade Room. I'm sure you guys don't even know what that site is, and you shouldn't.
I don't. What is it?
It at its core, it is a baby mama blog that trashes black men, celebrities, and athletes, and uplifts their baby mothers, who have children by them, and put the spotlight on them. That's what it truly is at its core. It's a site where women, where you have women go to, and then they say, "Hey, look, here's so and so baby mom," and all this other stuff. It's very disingenuous, and the fact that's the first place you go, and then when you look at that interview, the type of black man like, and see, that's the thing that pisses me off. Like, y'all don't even know what the shade room is, and the type of black man they choose to do an interview with is not a representation of, black men. Like, why did you have to choose some soft ass borderline, I don't know if he's gay type dude to interview him? When that's when people are going to be, all right, well, let me see. When people are going to be curious to see what black men think, don't use that guy. And then you go to that platform. So it's like you're really just pissing on our head, really.
So she
like
with this site grind. I'm just catching up here.
Yes, it was his
first.
Gotcha. It was because I was curious because like when she said, hey, we're finna do a black male voter initiative, I was like, all right, well, let's see what's up. And they said she was gonna do an interview with the Shade Room before she went to Charlemagne. And I was like, okay, but I was like, why? Because in my mind, I'm like, why in the hell is she going to the Shade Room? Like, honestly, her going to the Shade Room is like going to the beauty shop.
So what's your theory as to why she went there?
I have a whole theory on why you're seeing, and like I'm not that dumb and I'm not that smart, so I could be totally off. But I think there's a whole psychological, thing going on because the black community hasn't had, exponential growth really, and it hasn't been in the best shape. It has, every time you look, they're, looking for a plight. We're looking for a plight to, try to fight and trying to get better. And since that time, the black community has been a matriarchy, ran by, black women at the top.
Mm-hmm.
And just my theory, I think there's sort of a silent rebellion against that matriarchy because they kind of see what shape the black community is in, and they don't believe that that's what's the best, cause for the country, in my opinion. I could be totally off on that. People could say, no, you're wrong and all the other stuff. And then, look, I could be. That's just part of my thinking to it. And then, like,
when you say that, what you're saying, are you saying that you think there's a kind of a silent rebellion among black men? In other words, of we don't like being stereotyped in a particular way, and we're going to prove to you that we're not all that. I mean, it'd be like when you say, it'd be like if you tried to say, hey, all white men are a certain way. I'd be like, how in the world would you possibly do that? You know what I mean? And it's impossible. And I mean, I live in a neighborhood where there are, I don't know, multiple black families that are nuclear families and so when you say, hey, black men around me, I mean, those are like really strong, family oriented, out working their tails off, trying to make money for their kids, trying to send their kids to college, and those kind of, just like I am. I mean, no difference. I mean, it's why I don't know. It's what I'm not a black man, so I don't know what you're necessarily referencing because I don't. Obviously, we don't have the exact same beliefs, but like when she painted all black men and in kind of in one little narrow lane, I thought, man, that's really risky because I kind of thought it was offensive.
Well, yeah, and you're seeing that because I listened to a podcast where it's a full black panel, and there's one black woman, and 4 black guys, and they're all, they live in New York, they make a ton of money. I'll probably say the person on that podcast brings in like $400,000 a year. So they're a little disconnected from, the way I'm living and the way everybody else down here is living. And, they all admitted that they're voting for Kamala. But, the black men did admit, they said it is a problem that Donald Trump as a white man seems to be connecting more with younger black men than a black woman is. And the black woman's response on that podcast was initially, why? Because he served fries at a McDonald's. And that is where the offense comes in for the black men who are voting for Trump. Not it's as if we don't know any better because we're just down here on some low totem pole. Any black man that's voting for Trump, he's either lost in the world, or he has no way he can have some type of economic pool, which is why he's doing this. Basically they see that there's no economic reason why you can be voting for Trump. Because another thing that I've heard that's super super offensive is that black men are voting for him because he gave out stimmy checks. I said, what? I said, yo, we do know that COVID is over. We do know this, right? I'm like, man. So that's where like it's just super offense going on. And what I mean by the matriarch, I mean, just to be honest with you, I mean, most of black kids come from single mother households. So as that being a prevalent thing, then when you have women that run the household on an individual basis, if you just stack that up, then that means that women more so are going to be likely running that community and having a stronger voice of that community than the males are. And that was the thing for our father's generation. And I think you're having I think basically you're going to see young black men trying to bring back the black community and try to say, hey, let us try to lead it. Whether we're right or wrong, let us just as men take the lead of the community. And so I think it's going like I said, I could be wrong, but I do think it's going to be interesting on where it goes.
Yeah, I do too. So I said, if I'm right, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I mean, it won't be the first time I'm wrong, but if I'm right, I think that's going to be one of the stories that comes out of that night or nights or however long it takes for a victor to be declared. I do think those numbers are going to look different, and I think it's going to force people to have a conversation.
Yeah, I agree. And I guess, man, we like my I know Siski tried to get on me today. But man, my Auburn football soul is gone. I mean, have you guys ever seen that Scooby-Doo movie when they go to the island and them souls are just in like that little green whirlpool? That's where my Auburn football soul is. You got to stick your hand deep down in there, and then it just goes running off.
All right, well, let's get an Auburn football question because I'm curious because I didn't know this until I had Blake Topmeyer on MPW Digital Extra, and then Jeffrey mentioned it as well because Jeffrey gets Blake on his show in Memphis. Freeze's buyout.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, it's money. It's real money, and you got to pay it all. But you can spread that thing over 60 months. I mean, I think we all know, right? If we go to the car dealership and they say, hey,
yeah,
you gotta buy this car within the first year in total, or you can stretch your payments over 60 months, no interest. I mean, you're a little more tempted to buy a little more car, right, at 60 months than you would be if you had to pay for the whole thing in 12 months. Or in
100%.
The past, if you had to pay half of it in the first 30 days, right? Does that change the calculus on how long people give Freeze there?
I tell you this, like, I know from the representation of the Common fan, which my grandmother is, and she's a season ticket holder and all that, she's done. She's not going back to Auburn no more this season. She's already said it. She said she's done with Hugh Freeze. She didn't want him in the first place. And she's to that level now. What I don't know is where the big money people are. Because and I disagree with Siski on the whole coaching carousel. I think it moves. I think it does. Because I mean, one thing that we have learned.
Grind, you got to understand something about Tyler, and I love Tyler. Tyler is a wonderful, wonderful human being. I mean, he is one of those people who will give you the shirt off his back and then give you the next shirt off his back. I mean, he's a fantastic person. But Tyler is loyal to coaches. And and the people that try to make that a flaw, I get mad at them because that's his world. And a lot of those people are his friends, and he is literally just defending his friends and people who have hired him and worked with him and stuff like that. And the people that try to make that a negative about Tyler, it kind of makes me mad. But you also have to remember when he doesn't jump in on the "it's time to fire this guy" thing, that's kind of his blind spot too.
Yeah. Okay, look, let's play this out. Let's play this out because this is the contrarian theory or scenario to Siski. Because Siski says, hey, if a coach makes the playoff, no way he can go take a new job. I did the difference. Here's the scenario. Do you guys agree that now, yes, if coach leaves, it can mess up a recruiting class, but if the kids, if you're guaranteeing a kid this amount of money and he's getting it at his first semester on campus, the chances of you keeping them are a little bit better than if you weren't paying the kids. Agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Cool. So let's say Auburn says, you know what, we're gonna make it seem like let's say Hugh Freeze loses out. He loses to ULM. Everybody loses out, ass out. Let's say Auburn's like, you know what, we're gonna make a change, but hold on. Let's talk to these recruits that we got. Let's see. You're gonna probably have one, a couple guys fall off, but let's see what he can maintain. If he can maintain something, use his little gift of gab, whatever he does, and we pay these recruits, get them on campus for this first semester, at least through December. Let Coach Siggs of Indiana make the playoffs. You can fire, and you can fire Hugh Freeze whenever you want to. Here's my thing, I think spring training now gets forfeited if you're gonna make a coaching move and you have a solid recruiting class. Fuck the spring. Excuse my language. If you've already got the kids on campus, forget that. Once the season's over with, and once that late signing period is over with, that's when you can make your change. You fire Hugh Freeze, then you already got your kids on campus. You say, hold on, look, we already know where we're going. We're finna go get Siggs from Indiana. Give them a chance to come talk to y'all. Y'all already getting paid. We showing y'all that the money's good. Just listen. I think that's the way you do it. I don't think you just fire Hugh Freeze in December and say, oh, everybody's running around with their heads cut off, buildings on fire, papers flying everywhere. No. I think you have your calm face, your poker face going all the way up until March. Hell, you can fire him March 1st and then bring in Siggs. Because why does it matter? If he's going to be here, he can, put in his playbook in the spring, talking to the kids. It doesn't matter.
It's an interesting thought. I just don't know. I mean,
okay, let's say this.
First, it's like anything else, Grind. Somebody's got to do it, and it sort of works. And everybody goes, okay, that's fine now. But, I mean, look, it's not exactly the same thing at all because it's way more important. I mean, it's more important times 1,000. But, I mean, it's just playing with the spring game thing. So nobody was going to do it until somebody said, hey, we're going to turn this into a circus.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, look, let's play this scenario out. Let's say Ole Miss goes undefeated, wins the national championship. NFL season, goes to a conclusion, and he gets hired by the Philadelphia Eagles.
All right.
Would you not rather that have happened like in March than that happened in December?
Oh yeah, that's a good point because you could get active in the portal. I do agree with, by the way, your take about spring football. Like I think it's going to become a disappear.
You would get your guys you got anyway in December, and then you would have 30 days to play in the spring.
You'd have a spring to tamper, and then you'd buy a bunch of dudes in May.
Yeah,
I do agree with what you said about spring football. I was saying that. I don't know if you heard me, but I think you're going to see more and more programs go, we're not doing this.
Yeah. I agree. All right, man. Well, and I appreciate the show. Appreciate you guys taking my time. Hope you guys have a blessed one, man.
Awesome, Ron. Thank you.
I forgot about Pitt and Syracuse. Pitt's having a really good year.
They are.
That guy's had a pretty good little run at Pitt. What's his name?
Who's there now?
I can't remember.
Is it Narduzzi?
Yeah, Narduzzi. He's had a pretty good run.
Then we have the Spurs and the Mavs on another channel. Liquid with a steal and foul. Oh no, they just call out of bounds.
Yeah.
They call a block.
Hey, who do we have?
Anthony.
What's up, Anthony?
Not much. Riding the kids on a golf cart, looking at Halloween decorations, trying to get them to go to sleep.
Yeah. They must be little kids.
1, 3, 7, and 9.
Oh, okay.
What are they going to be for Halloween next week?
We got one's going to be Minions, one's going to be a Mario brother, and then I think one of them's going to be I don't know, the wife picking their outfits out. They're the girls. I don't know about them.
See, we change outfits about 9 times, Anthony. Like we don't need a Halloween costume. We need 9 costumes. It's a freaking one act play.
If Vanderbilt beats Texas, I've got to be Clark Lee all next week.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I heard you say that.
What do you need to
all
do
I
that?
need to look like Clark Lee is a Vanderbilt quarter zip, and I'm good.
You're
Yeah.
good.
Well, I know my wife's got about 20 outfits ordered off Temu, so we can go through them all.
Have you used Temu much now?
I've never heard of Temu.
Have you not? It's like a discount website.
I heard you, buddy.
Sorry,
But,
I'm distracted.
I got a question, and then I got a proposal. What do you think's more likely, Vanderbilt beating Texas or Ole Miss beating Georgia? And then the last thing is, an idea for y'all for election night. Do a massive collab with the Hendrickson show with Siskey, and then bring in Chase with his bourbon and wine guys, and just have one big old podcast.
Neal has a soccer game that night, which is a bit of an issue.
I've gotten so many requests for it
because we've had a political friend pitch this to us.
I'm contemplating when I get back. I want to go to his game. He's a senior. It's his last time they're going to play Lafayette, and I'd like to go watch him play.
Oh yeah, you can't miss that.
But and the election's not going to be called by 9:00.
You don't think so?
I wouldn't. Come on.
You know, like 7:15. We go ahead and wrap this bad boy up and move on with our day.
I mean, if that's the case, boy, we'll have one hell of a story to talk about. But I've thought about
Pennsylvania will be Thanksgiving before it's done.
Yeah, I've thought about getting back. Probably be somewhere close between 8:30 and 9, and probably closer to 9, and then doing something from here where I'd use the eCam and pipe people in as they want to come in and doing it. I don't know how good of a show it would or wouldn't be. Probably be a lot of people on it.
Oh.
So, I mean, it's the thought.
Not a bad thought.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, it's very easy to do quad box.
Is it?
Yeah.
You'll probably kind of show
we do
me
it all the time.
but
We can quad box it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate the show, guys. I've been listening to y'all. I've just got back from deployment, so I listen to y'all over there. Y'all help pass the time. I appreciate it, guys. I'll let y'all go.
Thank you for
Appreciate
your service.
it, bud, Anthony.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
No, we don't. She doesn't do them all on one night. We typically only do 2 costumes on Halloween night. But if there's any event over the course of the Halloween season, it is typically a different costume. That's kind of the.
Is it bad that I think Pitt has elite uniforms?
They're fantastic.
Okay.
I think I like them even better than UCLA's, who gets all the credit.
Oh yeah, no question. Those are much better. Those are
and see, they've gone back to type when not where they went gold, like old gold there for a while and tried to make them Mac looking. Those were awful. These are pretty good.
Hey caller, who do we have?
This is Kevin from Birmingham.
What's up, Kevin?
How y'all doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
Kevin Corey in our stream has a super chat. Says favorite Halloween movies. What's your favorite Halloween movie?
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Okay.
I'll make it simple.
I'll count it.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. It's actually been on in the theater here locally. I took Carly into the movies last weekend, and they were re-showing Nightmare Before Christmas and Hocus Pocus.
I could say Halloween, the original. It's okay. I'm not much of a Halloween guy. I grew up with a family that loved sweets, so candy was always in our pantry, and so it wasn't really a big deal if I wanted a Snickers or Hershey bar or Tootsie Roll. I just went to my kitchen and got it. You know.
Yeah,
I understand.
So, Neal, you know me. I send you funny stuff every once in a while on Twitter. You know, I'm not a bandwagon fan. I'm a 47-year-old Bama fan for about 40 years now.
Yeah.
And I'm not happy, like a lot of people.
I can tell.
And it has nothing to do with.
You sound like Mark.
You sound as angry as Mark.
Well, I'm not angry yet. I'll get there maybe, but you know, I'm not one of these knee-jerk reactions. Fire the coach after 7 games. That's stupid. However, I didn't expect this much of a I wasn't expecting this much of a drastic drop-off in 7 games. Losing to Vanderbilt is inexcusable. I don't care if Joe Montana is the quarterback.
The era was on you, though.
Yeah, and look, the past 3 or 4 years, I can see a little bit of a dip.
Yeah, I mean, y'all really fallen off. I mean, damn. I can't believe it. Really.
Well,
title last year, you know.
Well, losing to A&M, a bad A&M team at their place was not ideal. And then, losing, on the road, LSU, Tennessee, fans were storming the field. Okay, fine, whatever. But you had Tyler on this week, and you've had AJ on. But have you read some of the comments from the players about we're going to do things like we're going to show up at practice early now and go to class and throw crap in the garbage can instead of on the floor and just little things that are going to make us better. I mean, and I don't know. I'm just about to lose my mind.
It happens at every program that Nick Saban doesn't coach.
Yeah.
And now you're getting to experience that. Real quick, I'm fascinated by this, so I'm not trying to hijack your calling. But during that Vanderbilt game, at what point did you think, oh shit? Like, when did it really become real that could happen as you're watching that game?
When the fourth down bomb that they scored a touchdown on, and then when Milroe fumbled, I thought, oh man, we're going to lose for the first time in 40 years, and we did.
But when Ryan Williams caught that ball down the sideline, you thought, okay, they're going to figure this out, right? They're going to get a small, like, it's ugly, but you're going to pull it out.
No, I really didn't.
Okay.
I thought our defense was a sieve all day long, and you don't fix it. I think there's a flaw in the defensive in the scheme. I'm not a coach, but I just think there's a flaw in it. And Milroe is a big play guy. You've noticed we don't have like 10, 12 play drives for touchdowns. It's throw the bomb. There's no 7, 8 yards and then a 3 yard run and then a 5 or 6 yard pass and there's no flow to it. There wasn't a flow to Tommy Reese's offense, and I think it's just Milroe. And I think until he's gone, we won't have a quote real offense because he's not capable of it. He's not a pure passer. He just wants to tuck it and run it. And if the line doesn't protect him, he can't get there.
Don't you have to wait and see what he recruits or brings in from the portal before you just completely give up on them offensively?
Yeah, I mean, I'll never give up, man. I'm 40 years in. I'm never going to give up. It's just very, very frustrating. And the Tennessee loss.
Okay, well,
that's always a toss.
All right, I mean this lovingly. I really do. But that being said, what do you win? 6 national titles?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, you had to think, and I guess I'm being somewhat rhetorical, but I'm also being kind of serious. You had to think, hey, this probably can't keep up like this forever, right? I mean, you knew.
I had a 15-year-old dog, and every year I knew I'm going to have to put her on the ground one day, and it sucked when I had to do it.
Yeah, but I mean, you do understand that there are 80. How many D1 programs are there?
130 something.
34.
I mean, there's at least 132 that would trade their last 15 years for your last 15 years. I mean, and just without even hesitation. So I mean, you had to think there was going to be at some point like a new reality a little bit where, if nothing else, there was going to be a recycle where you're going to have to, we're going to have to come back a little. And then, I mean, I get it, but I mean, like
I knew there would be a learning curve.
I always talk about there's interval training. I mean, this is the Saban interval was one hell of an interval. I mean, but there had to be an end point to it. I mean,
we're not at Dubose level yet. We're not at Mike Shuley level yet.
No, and I don't know that. I don't know that you're going. I don't know. I mean, look, in this college football today, where I mean,
everything's different.
Who? I mean, I know the knee-jerk reaction is to say Alabama, but I mean Georgia. But who out there is even in a position to do over 15 years what Saban did at Alabama? I don't know that there's anybody. Maybe Ohio State. Maybe Oregon. No. I mean, maybe Georgia.
Clemson.
Probably not. Clemson's not doing
maybe
it.
Clemson.
No.
Well, they went to 2 national championships.
But if I said over the next 15 years, if I gave you 15 years, I said, what program nationally do you think is going to go? Alabama won 6 national titles and lost how many? How many did they lose in that era? 2? 3?
Yeah, 3.
Okay.
Kirby got 1. Dabo got 2.
Okay, so if I said how many programs nationally starting next year, we'll make a clean slate, okay? How many programs starting next year for the next 15 years do you feel confident can go to 9 national championship games and win 6?
No one.
Zero.
So that's my point. Is it's not just Alabama that can't live up to that era. Nobody's gonna. It's a complete
The portal and NIL has changed everything.
Yeah, the portal, NIL, the transfer thing where you unlimited transfers. It's not. Originally it was a one-time transfer.
I mean, Alabama had like Ingram, Richardson, and Lacey just all sitting on the roster together, like that kind of thing.
That's not happening again.
Real quick, PT Brandon in the live stream super chat. Thank you. He wanted me to ask you if you'd like Pete Golding back.
No. This feels like, and I'll let you go real quick, but think about your childhood home, and you went to see it after like maybe a few years, and you're like, what the hell have they done to my house?
Yeah.
The trees are overgrown.
Yep.
The bushes are crazy. They've painted it a funky color or taken away something. That's kind of what it feels like. That everything that was built is gone.
And you also remember your childhood home as being fancier than it probably really was. And in your case, the proverbial Alabama childhood home,
that was some gun.
You ain't ever living in a house like that again.
That thing had a bowling alley in it.
That thing was incredible. That's like growing up in the White House or something. I mean,
yeah, we're in an apartment right now.
Yeah,
in a duplex.
Investment.
Yeah.
Thanks,
guys. I appreciate letting me rant a little bit. And hey, if we lose to Missouri, I'll call back next week.
Hey, please do.
Please do.
See ya.
Where was our live stream with him and Mark together during the Tennessee-Alabama game? I'm going to put the asses in the seats.
Oh, that would.
No one in the stream has sympathy for Kevin right now, by the way. None. Zero.
This episode brought to you by BetterHelp.
Yeah. No one's going, you know what? He had a point. No.
And nobody's feeling sorry for Come on. Hey, caller, who's this?
It's Matt.
What's up, Matt?
So, I have like the stupidest among stupid questions to ask you, Neal.
Okay.
It doesn't mean anything to anybody else, but my wife Ashley and I have sit here. A lot of days we are both working, can't watch the morning podcast until we get off. So a lot of days I download it and then watch it on my YouTube as I drive home. And she's the one that brought it up to me. And I said, well, I don't really know, but I'll ask. So I noticed, and she noticed, that the first set of advertisements, as soon as the podcast starts in the morning, you keep the camera on both of you. But now I'm telling you, bro, it's so dumb. But she wanted me to ask, so I told her I'd call and ask. But the next two sets of advertisements, you flip the camera to you, to Chase, and
we do.
Yeah.
Whatever, right?
Yeah.
Why? and I don't want to know. She wants to know. But
question about the open.
It's a good question, and the honest answer is I've never ever thought about it before right this moment.
Well, we're just now kind of getting going, and
it's just kind of it's morning, and we're getting started, and
it's a hell of a question. I'm not against the question.
What I told her was that when you first get started, like people like me that download it and have to watch it later, because where I'm at in Water Valley, for whatever reason, AT&T service is poop. So I have to download it until I get so far toward Oxford on the way home. I don't have no service. Like it shows great service, but you don't have no service. You don't have no 5G service, so I can't pull up YouTube. So I have to download it on my Wi-Fi and watch it on the way home. So my thought was, when you first start the podcast, maybe it keeps people actually like looking at the first part of the podcast and they actually get to hear a little bit of advertisement.
You and your wife thought of something that we have never even spent
literally never crossed my mind.
I mean, you're correct, and it is a delineation from the rest of the show, but I got nothing.
Well, Chase, I promise you, bro, I tried to break you off a piece of that pumpkin kringle the other day, but she wouldn't come off of it, bro.
A Kringle now. I mean, I'm all in on a Kringle. I mean,
we were sitting in Trader Joe's when I said that to you, and we got in the car, and I saw your response, and she said, "Oh, I love them. I don't love them that much."
The Cajun Kringle from Haydale's in New Orleans is.
Ooh,
but Kringles were sweet.
They're a dessert.
Well, a Cajun Kringle would have spice to it, or
oh
what?
hell no! It's like hazelnut, like it's a chocolate pastry, like kind of thing for the Christmas season.
Oh,
yeah. So throughout the year, Trader Joe's has where I get the Green Dragon that I brought y'all the other day. She made me, but they have different ones throughout the year, and she loves them. And she got a pumpkin one, and my first thought was, man, ain't no way. I hate pumpkin everything. And dude, it is really good. It is really. I never thought it would be good, but it is.
I'd have to be convinced a little bit because pumpkin flavoring is not really my jam.
Me too, bro. I hate it. But this is different. It almost gave off more of a cinnamon kind of a kick than pumpkin.
So it's really
so I think that's why.
Thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm in on that. Give it a shot.
Well, I didn't want you to think I was like a stalker or nothing the other day, but
no, hey, I
appreciate. You want me to read to you, dog?
I love that stuff, and I never get up there, so it makes sense. I appreciate it.
Yeah, bro. All right, man. Well, y'all have a great rest of your night. Great show so far.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Appreciate you,
Matt.
Absolutely. Y'all take care.
Yeah, you're supposed to bring me some of the green.
I have it. Yeah. I got it.
Tyler's supposed to bring me some orange pepper rub. I mean, there's all this stuff that's supposed to be coming my way, and it's like not here. Now, what am I supposed to do? I mean,
it's taken a lot to get me away from my normal hot sauce or whatever, but the jalapeno hot sauce, it's the Green Dragon, is really good from up there. It's good stuff.
Hey, who do we have? Oh.
Hey guys, this is Booth.
Hey, what's up?
Oh, not a whole lot. Just y'all can probably hear me better now. I just turned my car off or turned my phone off Bluetooth.
Yeah, it's much better.
Yeah.
Sound like you were in a race.
So,
in a race.
Not far from it. But I figured y'all probably have or definitely have discussed this game this week. Whether it be on your show with Tyler, Neal, or on podcast here. But curious, what are y'all thinking about this A&M and LSU game this weekend? Who are you kind of leaning towards?
I've seen LSU twice in a row in person, and so I'm probably a little recency biased on this because I think they've been really impressive in the last 6.5 quarters that I've watched them play. I think they're getting better. I think they have really good quarterback play. I mean, if the football gods came down, I'd say which Weigert am I getting? Good one or bad one? Because if I'm getting bad one, LSU's going to win this thing easily. If I get good one, it's got a chance to be a classic. I don't think LSU's freaked out to play on the road at A&M or any of that crap. I think it's a really, really good game. I think A&M's a little better overall on both lines of scrimmage. But LSU's offensive line's got a great reputation very clearly with officials because they're just not getting flagged. They get flagged once a game for holding, basically. And they're developing a running game. They added Trades Green to their passing attack. It gives them 4 really good weapons for Nussmeier to work with. And then I think Baker, the defensive coordinator there, has done an elite job getting them better and better week after week. A&M's good, though. I mean, if Connor Weigman plays well, they're a bitch.
Yeah, I agreed. And so 3 weeks ago, I think it was 3 weeks ago, I was in Baton Rouge watching my little brother for South Al against LSU. And after that game, even though they lost pretty good, I would have told you, I don't think LSU is anything too special, especially up front. I was proved to be, I guess, not quite as smart whenever they whooped Ole Miss like they did the next week up front, at least. But I don't know. Their O-line, to me, like, gives them a chance, and Nussmeier, anywhere. Like, because the guy just, I don't know. I mean, he throws interceptions, but that arm talent, like, to me, that gives you a chance against literally anyone. And when he's on, I don't know. I kind of have that sneaky feeling about them. But then at the same time, A&M's pretty good up front, and I like their O-line a lot. Crazy talented. I don't know. I think that's the most interesting game of the week, personally.
Yeah, because, I mean, the thing with LSU is you don't get holding penalties. You protect on the edges because they're so good at tackle. So even if you can kind of get them inside a little bit, you don't get them around the corner. It lets Nussmeier stay comfortable, lets him step up most of the time. When he gets out of the pocket, he kind of has room to do stuff. He's a big physical guy. And with that lack of stress, they're pretty good at wide out. I mean, offensively, they're just kind of rolling because of that at times. I mean, it makes sense because when you can neutralize everything on the edges, I mean, as you know, everything is available in your playbook because you're never just getting blown up by an end over there that's just taking it all away. And because of that, I mean, they're just kind of a steady football team that's always going to stay in games at minimum at this point.
And games at Kyle Field, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And for some, I mean, of course the place is massive, but it doesn't seem to be as intimidating as a road environment as, some like a place like Death Valley or the Swamp. I don't think LSU will be rattled, in the least bit.
No, I mean, it is of the big stadiums, it's the easiest to win in the league. I don't know why. I don't get it, but it just is. And I was looking up the stat. Nussmeier on the season has been sacked one time in 296 dropbacks.
Think about that. The left tackle, man, I'm telling you, he's Tunsil-ish good.
Sorry, that's the team, but either less. This is a crazy stat. Nussmeier has dropped back 288 times and thrown the ball 284.
He's really good in the pocket.
And they make a really good pocket because you can't get to him from the left side because Campbell's special. Like, right,
and
if you told me to vote for Offensive Player of the Year in the SEC, I would vote for Will Campbell.
I don't vote.
Yeah, and their defense isn't as talented as they were last year, but they play better. Like there aren't a whole lot of busts, and they're kind of.
Oh, and they got a couple of really
play well.
They got a couple of really impactful players. 440 guys that just sort of know how to make plays. They just get stuff done. I mean, there were a couple of times this past Saturday in Fayetteville when it kind of felt like Arkansas was about to get a little momentum going offensively, and they would just make a play.
What y'all thinking of Rebs or Sooners this weekend?
Well, Miss is going to win. It's just a matter of whether it's an ugly game or not.
Yeah, I don't like laying 20 points, but I do think Ole Miss wins. I think Ole Miss wins by. I think I had 17 points. Just kind of hard for me to. I don't know if Trey Harris is playing. I sort of assume he's not, and if he's not, based on what I've seen, it's kind of hard for me to go. Oh yeah, man, they're going to go light a decent defense on fire. I mean, it's not what they've done in 3 SEC games when he hasn't played.
Quick question, and I'll hop out after this one. So, from the outside looking in, it seems like, Ole Miss, they bring in tons of, poor guys, a lot of receivers who seem to be talented. But it seems like Lane just, I'm not saying this is right or wrong, but, picks his guys, and he's just going to roll with those guys.
Yep.
All game. And,
fair criticism.
And, you see, when Harris goes down, it's like it seems like, it doesn't flow as well. And it's not really the next guy up behind him. It seems like, how can we figure out ways to do things differently with our guys, Right, wrong, good or bad, that's just observation.
Yeah, well,
it's not wrong.
The receiver core is interesting because Harris has obviously had a special season. I mean, Wells has done some things, but I don't know that he's been as impactful as they were hoping.
He's only catching 51% of his targets.
Yeah. I mean, Caden Lee's been their second best receiver. Watkins has basically been non-existent.
And the tight ends are non-existent.
Yeah, and then like the guys like, Aiden Williams, it just doesn't Noreel White. These were names that we heard in August, and you don't hear them anymore. It's another reason why and I did better this year covering camp. I'm really reluctant to go too terribly deep on the roster because Lane Kiffin doesn't go deep on the roster when they play games.
Fair enough. All right, well, guys, thanks for taking my call. You have a good night.
Thank you. Pitt 17-0.
Yeah, McCord has struggled for Syracuse at times.
They are 5-1 though.
Yeah. Like you watch Pitt like in games like this, and you can't help but go, well, what if they hadn't lost yet?
Mm-mm. They need a bigger midfield logo.
Oh, it is kind of small. I wonder if it's because it's the Steelers logo and they just kind of cover it up.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah.
Can the ACC get 3 bids?
Could, sure. Need a lot of chaos.
Yeah.
A lot of chaos.
SEC might give it to them.
Yeah.
All right. We'll start winding it down here. If you've got a call, now's the time to make it. Otherwise, we're gonna call it a day. It's been a day. A lot of content up at MPW Digital. Had our show in the morning with Jeffrey. That's up in podcast form. Mind on My Money is in YouTube form. It'll be in podcast form once it is downloadable by Chase because I screwed something up. We've got MPW Digital. We got, hang on, caller, 1 second. We got MPW Digital Extra is up. McCready and Siskey from earlier today is up. We made our Make It Rain Thursday picks. We've got the Butcher versus the Dance Instructor, and then Pete's Pigskin Preview, where he does a really good job showing you what Oklahoma does defensively, which is some pretty creative stuff. So I think it's worth watching. And then, of course, you've got this show winding it down. Hey, caller, who's this?
Hey, guys, it's Jackson in Orange Beach. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, it's going pretty good. First off, I want to say thank you guys for all the content and everything y'all do. Really helps get through the week a lot easier.
Thank you.
Yeah. Quick question. Just want to get y'all's thoughts. What do y'all think about this Menendez brothers case going on?
Oh, it's been really interesting. I was in Fayetteville last weekend, and my daughter Caroline is fascinated about it. She's been like deep diving into the Menendez brothers thing. And it's interesting because she's 21, almost 22, and her perspective is probably that of like this new generation, right? And she was saying, had they been tried now, they would not have been convicted because of the abuse that they absorbed as teenage boys. Their father was very abusive sexually.
Mm-hmm.
They went through a lot, and she was just like, she's read just tons about him. She's been deep dived on it, and she's very sympathetic to their plight. She thinks that they deserve to be let out of prison, and that I think that's a very prevalent view among a lot of younger people. And it sounds like they're going to be resentenced and they're going to be free. I was listening to Mark Garagos talking about it, and he thinks they're home by Christmas.
Really?
Mm-hmm. What do you think?
Yeah, that's me personally, I mean, I don't see any reason why they wouldn't be let go. I really don't know too much about it. My mom was in town probably about a week or so ago, and it's like she never even left the house because she was watching like every documentary and everything on it. She was like, "You don't understand how big of a deal this was."
It was.
And I was like,
"Yeah."
I was like, clearly I don't.
Yeah, there's a couple of documentaries out, right? There's one on Netflix, and there's one. I should know all this. We talked about it for hours. The one on Netflix is supposedly really, really good and really in depth.
Oh yeah, the Monsters.
Yeah, Monsters.
Yeah, they did the second season of the Jeffrey Dahmer thing.
Say again?
Yeah, they did like a season 1 with the Jeffrey Dahmer, and then season 2 with the Menendez brothers. Yeah. But it's definitely interesting, and I don't really see any reason why they should be still in prison. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It's got a lot of things to it, but when it all came out, as far as like I guess they could prove like the dad did abuse them, and then they had other people that I guess testified that the father was abusive to other people because he also was like something to do in like the music industry.
Yep.
And those bands members were like, yeah, he touched us and all sorts of things.
Yep.
So I don't really see like how it really kind of got overshadowed. But then again, as I was watching like the Monsters thing, wasn't like the OJ trial going on at like the same exact time?
Same.
Because they hired the same lawyer.
I think OJ was in between the two trials.
Is that right?
Yeah, it was something like
I think.
It was right around and then, and it was all, everything was California, and it was just a totally different era. Like the abuse thing, that narrative never really like made it into the mainstream. I never remember hearing about that until, years later.
Right.
And they separated the brothers in prison, and they were pretty codependent on one another. And, was her name Leslie Abramson? That was the attorney.
I don't know.
She was. She basically.
Leslie Abramson, I believe that was the attorney. I know at first they tried to get Robert Shapiro, the guy that also represented OJ, with Johnny Cochran.
Well, Abramson sort of became a mother figure to one of the boys, Eric. She has like gone into basically hiding. She will not talk about it. People have tried to reach out to her here in the last few months, and she's disinterested in speaking about it.
Mm-hmm. But no, it's definitely interesting for sure.
What else you got?
Oh man, that's pretty much it. Just curious about what's the crowd looking like up there right now. I'm heading up tomorrow.
Good luck. Good luck.
Godspeed.
Figure out where you're going and get there. That is my advice.
Yeah, we've already decided that. We've already got a game plan going for Saturday morning.
Well, let me just tell you, whatever game plan you've got, add 30 minutes to it.
Oh yeah. Well, I've already said, I was like, look, we're getting in the Grove at like 6:45.
That's probably
we're just gonna go. We're not gonna go out tomorrow night. We're gonna go ahead and get all of our stuff from the liquor store. Just go ahead and get some like sandwiches or like
on the way in.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the way in.
Way in.
And then probably just gonna stop in Tupelo and grab everything, and then just come in, go straight to the Airbnb, have it all ready to go, and get up early and get the Grove.
That's a smart plan. It really is.
My buddy was like, "Oh, dude, I don't think it's going to be that bad, because Oklahoma's not that good." I was like, "No."
Yeah. No, your buddy's wrong. Nothing against your buddy,
but
he's wrong.
Yep. Well, guys, I appreciate the call. You'll have a great night.
You too. Thanks.
All right, bye.
Yeah, I think it's the biggest crowd in 12 years.
Since Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In 12.
And it was crazy.
And Oxford is just even more crowded, period.
Right.
To then.
More students, more people.
Everything.
And then you shut down one of the lanes of one of the main thoroughfares.
Just that.
And there's
only half of it. Which actually makes it worse, because then you have to merge into the one after it was 2. So, yes. There's that.
We were saying, I get it why they did it. This is not a criticism at all. And it was funding and all that stuff. You got to do something. But boy, in an ideal world, you could have pushed that back 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And paid for it on the other end of the
deal with that
of the 18 months. Yeah. All right, we'll stop there. Hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. Again, lots of content up. We'll have this up in podcast form. Tomorrow we'll have the MPW Digital post-game show brought to you by Realtree. Saturday sometime mid-afternoon after Oklahoma and Ole Miss. So if you're driving up, in addition to giving yourself time, be safe, and we will talk to you on Saturday.